And again, it's time for Morpheus to deliver a bit of the red pill to all of you guys who are interested to learn how the system works and how to trade in binaries to make money steadily, long term, without any kind of gimmick. I'm not selling you a trick, my dear friends. I'm selling, well, essentially selling, I'm presenting you with knowledge that is based on logic, math, statistics, without any kind of BS. No, I don't have gold bars and private jets, but I have 3 daughters and unlimited time to spend with them while I'm making some money. Anyways, so this is something that I love about pocket option, the fact that it's pocket, you can take it on the go. I keep in previous videos I did mention some of the things that you can do without, while actually trading on the phone without the need for technical analysis, support, and resistance. Essentially, what we do is we take advantage of the macro statistics. If you take a look at the June macro statistics that we've done with you together, we have not lost one time, not even one time, 100% success rate. But this is obviously not something that I preach. There's always a chance for a market to do a goofy thing, but as long as you apply proper mental fortitude and stress resistance, as long as you apply proper money management, that 1 or 2 times out of a month that you might have a losing day, it's not a big deal. You're still going to end up in the money. You're still going to end up in big profit, bigger than any bank, than any real estate, than any stock can give you for within a 1 month period. Chats are open. My boy Henry, my boy Donald are here. They started as just like you, as our clients, as somebody that came across the stream. They contacted me in Telegram, which, by the way, is evolving. Please join our Telegram channel if you have not done so already. There's going to be schedules posted in there, certain maybe more in-depth insights, because these videos, to make sure that maybe everybody can relate to them, I'm keeping, or understand them, I'm keeping the information very general terms, generalized. But if you want a bit more of in-depth or one-on-one counseling, this is something that is done through the Telegram channel. I will always answer my phones. I got multiple ones, are always on me, and I'm always going to respond, ASAP. So if you got a question about anything to do with trading, anything to do with the lifestyle of this kind of money-making opportunities, or I don't know what color my hair is, I don't know, cars, girls, I'm your guy. So, today, my dear friends, all right, we made some money. Man, yesterday was this kind of thing. When you're a citizen of the world, just like me, I don't have really a one place that I live for long. I kind of like the idea to show my kids what's out there, what's in the world, different cultures, different people. So, but some of these places will have not a particularly good internet service. So, anyways, if we go back in time, kind of like da-da-da-da, back in time. Love that movie, Back to the Future. But yesterday, there it is. There it is. Yesterday, we took advantage of this. We made some money yesterday. There was a nice spike. There was a bit of a retracement, a little bit smaller than I expected, actually. But we did open a position for $1,000 here by a kind of goofy mistake, and ended up making some decent money, right? So there was a spike, retracement, continuation. All of this, you can actually see, the video was very short, the stream was very short. It did allow me to kind of show you guys this and how to take advantage of it. We did pending trades, right? Pending trades by the asset price. We made some money on that. And we took advantage of the retracement, right? So this is something that, as I keep mentioning to you all the time, this is actually what doesn't involve any kind of technical analysis, no indicators whatsoever. We knew about it ahead of time. We took advantage of it exactly when it was released. And so, yeah, spike, retracement, continuation, but in about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, even if the statistic is somehow massive, Right? I mean, we can take a look at like any economic calendar, right? In this case, let's do it, I don't know, from, in this regard, there we go. Um, there it is, right? It happened on Thursday, right? Not usual Friday, but it happened on Thursday because today is July 4th. Most Americans are celebrating their Independence Day, got their barbecues out, got some hot dogs and burgers flipping around with a good company. Congrats, you guys, on the, kind of like a day off or maybe a few days off. But because it is July 4th on a Friday, they moved the NFP to Thursday, right? So there we go. You got to be aware of this thing. By the way, another reason why we could, I mean, obviously you can go to economic calendar and keep an eye out yourself, but if you sign up to our Telegram channel, which as I mentioned, it's going to be evolving. You're going to get kind of like these insider tips and reminders about some of the things that you should keep in mind. Like the fact that the most popular macro statistic was moved from today to yesterday because of a holiday. But as you can see, it was actually really freaking good. I mean, we got the unemployment claims also that was lower, even though it's a weekly statistic. It was actually a positive statistic. They expected a higher, I don't know, essentially unemployment, right, where people ask for money from the government. It came out lower than the previous week. We had lowering of unemployment rate. This is a very heavy statistic, and obviously we had 144 adjusted statistic for the NFP. They were expecting a much lower, 111,000 new salaries, but it came out higher than the previous. So all of this was great statistic, good enough to move the market very aggressively. Now, if we take a look right here, right, we got 1786, and approximately 1724. So 86 and 24, that's 62 pips. In the real market, in Forex, one standard lot would have given you $620, approximately $600 to $620 worth of profit in this one candle, right? So it happens all very quickly. As I mentioned, 5-10 minutes maximum that the macro is affecting the market. This is a planned statistic. This is something that's not a surprise. This is something that's important to understand because this is not something that's going to move the market for hours. Right, so even if we take a look at time interval, something a little bit bigger, right, like 3 minutes, we still is going to see a spike. There it is, whoosh, spike, and a retracement. Right, spike, retracement, continuation a little bit, but that's it. After this, it started to do its own thing, and maybe you could have gone with the technical analysis and started to kind of take a look at this resistance level, sexy thing right here. Yeah. All right, making money on this. Actually, I've come to realize that 3 minute patterns, 3 minute price charts, right, are actually quite interesting, right? All right, so if we take a look at 5 minute candles, also the same thing. We got a spike, we got a retracement, we got a continuation, and it's afterwards it was doing its own thing. Right, so anyways, this is something that I encourage you to be aware of. This is not something that is subject to, I don't know, opinion. It's statistics, and when numbers are assigned to these things, you kind of would be hard pressed not to take advantage of these things. So 100% success rate in last month, and so far we're still 100% success rate for this month in making money. You can take a look at the previous videos in the channel. You can ask your questions and get clarity to this in the Telegram channel. Once again, one-on-one with no BS and no pressure, no obligations. This is something that I burn with, my passion about making money work for me instead of the other way around. I want to share it with as many people as possible, so there's never going to be any kind of bad emotions when we're talking about, communicating between each other, in the beginning or later or whatever. There's actually lots of interesting things that I can offer you one-on-one individually based on the situation that's developing. So again, take a look at Pocket Option, link is below as well. You will understand that these are not pre-recorded sessions. It's live right now. You can click on Pocket Option link right now. You'll see the exact same chart. and you'll be able to ask me in this moment any kind of questions that you might have. You'll understand once again that it's not something that's pre-recorded. The charts are identical for anybody across the world, whether you're in India or United States. Might be good morning, happy Independence Day holiday to you guys, or anywhere in the world. In Europe, you'll be able to click on pocket option link and you'll be able to see the chart. The graph is identical. And right now, you and I are going to be talking about another technical. And I just saw a really good support level. I couldn't help myself, but I think I should have looked at this beautiful thing as well. Huh? Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Actually, and yeah, when it broke through, we had a couple of, and this is 5-minute candles. So each one of these candles had 5 1-minute expirations. So let's actually take a look at 0429, actually really early in the morning for, way too early for me, but 0429, right about here, we had a relative, a breakout strategy, and there were a lot more red candles than green ones. And we actually talked about multiple time interval analysis, right? If you don't know, once again, you can go back, or you can go to the Telegram channel and talk to me specifically. I will bring you fresh examples to any kind of questions that you might have, how signals are done, how maybe to interpret all of this, and take advantage so that you're making money without relying on luck. All right, but today, since we are talking about technical analysis, today we're going to do a little bit of a complementary indicator to the one that we just discussed. We talked about MACD. We're going to talk about OsMA. MA, moving average, oscillator moving average, right? So we're actually going to kind of have 2 indicators today. And as I mentioned, you know what, I keep saying, often enough, that there are certain indicators that give you kind of like an early signal. And actually, one of my favorite early signal givers is fractal 2. The other one of my favorite indicators is parabolic. Super trend, you can throw it in there just in case because it kind of acts exact same as parabolic. But when it moves sideways, right, when it points downwards, you kind of get an idea that there should be a downward trend. And interesting enough is that, well, you see, in MACD, we talked about one of the very recent previous videos. We talked about the cross-section of the green line. In this case, it's the MACD line. The signal line is the red one. And we're talking about the crossing of the zero line. So in MACD, there it is. There's your signal to sell. Right? There's your signal to sell. And some people will say that, when MACD line crosses the zero line, that's another kind of a signal to continue to sell. So if it crossed and it's going kind of like sideways, blah, 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 you're not really going to expect, a massive kind of, I don't know, a trending move. Maybe it's going to be actually going sideways, kind of like right here, right? So it crossed, it says that it's going to be going up, but it's, kind of not really a lot of activity here. Though, once again, another complementary indicator that does the same kind of signaling is OsMA, right? As I mentioned, it's moving average and oscillators, right? In this case, it's presented in the histogram. Oscillators, right? It's got a range, right? So an oscillator usually has like I don't know, RSI, or no, let's essentially any leading indicator. Most leading indicators are usually range bound, but I don't know, there we go. Accelerator, oscillator, right? So once again, we got the size of the bars that also kind of tell us about certain things that, might be of interest, right? So accelerator, oscillator also does the crossing of the zero line. And again, there we go. In this case, look, we had the MACD, we had the accelerator oscillator also had the red bars that are getting smaller, crosses the zero line. And we have OsMA doing exactly the same thing, crossing the zero line. And the other thing that we probably would want to talk about, but this is probably something that I would reserve for one-on-one conversations, is divergence, right? So when the asset goes, establishes new lower lows, but the oscillator establishes new highest highs or something, right? So where one shows one direction, the other one shows a bit different information, usually that points towards a reversal of trends, or maybe continuation of trends as well. So Very, very easy kind of indicator also to help, to confirm, because these crossings between MACD and the OsMA are not always going to be in tune, right? I would say that OsMA, could deliver it a little bit faster, right? So here we go. Look at this. Super trend went from the bottom to the top. That's usually right. It's very clear. Can't get any clearer to this. It says sell, right? At this point, start selling, right? You're looking at the other indicators. There we go. In OsMA, there was the decrease and coming to the zero line, across the zero line as well. Parabolic SAR, it switched also on this candle, right? On this candle, it switched to the top. Also means a sell, all right? So you can't get any clearer than this. But notice that on this candle, right, on this one right here, just a bit before, we had a sell signal from Fractal. So sell signal from Fractal, this candle closes. It's a 1 minute candle. We got, oh, we're actually looking all of this at euro dollar, not even technical, OTC, which is usually where technical analysis is behind the wheel. Here it's mostly fundamental analysis, but technical analysis works on this as well. What is technical analysis? It's a study of the chart, right? But what moves the market? People. People move the market. People are emotions. Technical analysis is study of numbers. Can't really assign a number to your happy feeling. It's subjective, right? So this is where I always remind people that if you're doing technical analysis in the real market, yes, it has a place there. When you're driving a car, you are looking at the, at the speedometer, at the tech gauge, but, or maybe when you're flying a plane, you are looking at the instruments, but you're also seeing what's going on over there, right, above, people, other factors that are not accounted for. So technical analysis, it's better to actually do it if you're trading just based on technical. It's better to do in the OTC because there's no fundamental impulses there, right? So look, if we're going to look at, where was this? This is yesterday. There we go. If we look at 1530, 330 on euro dollar, anywhere you look at any platform, you will see this beautiful big red candle followed by a retracement and a pull and continuation. But if we go in technical in OTC, there we go. We're in yesterday. There it is, right? 1530, nothing, right? No fundamental spikes. That's the beautiful thing about this, is that we see a technical analysis says that it's going to be going up. It's been going up for a while. At some point, it should be crossing down, and it did. And lo and behold, we have the crossing of the OsMA, and we have crossing of the signal line and the MACD line. We got crossing of the histogram, the zero line. We got the sell from super trend. We got a sell from parabolic. We got a sell from fractal. God, does it get any better than this? I love it. All right, so today we're going to kind of do a little bit of trading in technical analysis, but as I mentioned in the real market, we also have room for this. It's just here we need to understand that when you're looking at euro dollar, you're not really comparing like a stock, right? Wait a second. If we go into any, I don't know, non-OTC, well, all of the, I guess most of them are OTC at the moment. But if you look at any company like Facebook, all you got to do for fundamental analysis to trade the real stock itself is to actually read the news about Facebook and say, oh my God, there's some horrible decision making by the board of directors. You're like, oh, I'm going to go sell Facebook. When we're talking about euro dollar, you're actually comparing two economies at the same time, right? And that's kind of very difficult to do live because, you could be, looking at euro, you'd be like, hey, there's, some Christine Lagarde, just the head of central bank, said something awesome, but at that moment, you're like, okay, buy euro. But at that moment, something horrible might have happened. I don't know, volcano erupted in America, wiping out a bunch of oil, drilling facilities. Obviously, that's a bad thing, and that would take precedence over maybe an implication that the inflation is on a good path to raising interest rates, that might have been made by Christine Lagarde. Right, so this is where we need to be very, very careful. If you're not the kind of person to wake up in the morning and while you're cooking your breakfast, you're listening and watching BBC News or CNN, world news. Or I don't know if CNN is world news. I always keep saying that, but I never really. I don't watch news myself because there's never really anything good on it. But anyways, so this is something that be aware of. So right now we're looking in euro dollar. I am noticing this relatively good support level that's being established. As of a couple of minutes back, right? We got like right 15:30, about I don't know 45 minutes back from now. Boom, boom, boom. We got a 3-point contact, and we also have a 2-point contact for a resistance level. So, right, so I mean, I'm thinking that it's going to maybe touch and maybe actually bounce through it a little bit and then come back. It could actually get to a point with like a ascending right triangle, all right, where it means that if it goes up above this line, if it kind of goes up, touches this, comes back down, touches this, comes back down, touches this again. So if it touches this 3 times and breaks on the 4th, we are actually able to anticipate a move that is approximately the widest part of this ascending triangle. So if it does break through, it could go up to somewhere here. And if that's going to be the case, and we're going to look in the back, we see that yes, this particular level was something that the asset was reacting with, and also something like, that's a good thing. So anyways, technical analysis, it's applicable everywhere, right? When you're driving a car, when you're flying a plane, you need to know the data that's available across the gauges, something that tells you. But you also can't really predict the wind when you're in the air with the airplane. You can't really predict a dog that will run out in the middle of the road, or maybe you should actually, if you're a good experienced driver, you're kind of expecting something to be, happening like this that's outside of your control, and that's why it's outside impacting factors that's important enough to be aware of. When we're trading in the OTC, right, we're able to, I don't know, it's like driving on a track, right? You understand that it's guarded off, that there's no dogs are going to be coming on, and something that can really mess up your mess up your car, and then you pay attention to the G-force readings, to the heating of the tire gauge or the brakes or the fluids. You're kind of keeping aware, a little bit more about what the hell is going on over there. So I don't know if that actually makes sense. I don't know if anybody is watching this right now, or maybe is going to be watching this later. Leave a comment. Maybe if you're like, Alex, you need more, you need some better analogies or something. I have no idea, what the hell you were talking about. But anyway, so today we're going to be looking at OsMA and MACD, kind of like as a complementary. And what I will say that I want to, usually these are the indicators that you go to for a bit longer move, or at least a couple of candles, right? So we're going to be looking at, see there's a crossing over here, a little bit before the MACD and signal line, and a little bit before, the crossing of the histogram, right, the 0 line. So, and what we want these. We want down, we want big, I don't know, cockles, right, from like rooster, right? We want big, I mean, that sounded bad maybe, all right, but we want like a mohawk. We don't really want to trade with something like, kind of like pitiful like this. This crossing over here, I don't know, I really wouldn't have expected anything, really. I mean, yes, it did go up, but, this is what we want, and this is what we want, this kind of decline. We want crossing of the 0 line. We want confirming signals, and essentially that's what we're getting. Right, so to make things a little bit more interesting, because look, let's count. 1, right, sell, and essentially if we took only one position for a sell right here, 1, I would say 2, right, another one for a sell, I would say 3 right here for a buy, and I don't know, this would be kind of stretching the truth a little bit. 4, I don't know, I think I might have opened a position here for like a small amount. 3, 4, and 5, right? 5, and this one is at 2 o'clock, right? 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So 2 hours worth of data we're looking at here. Well, we had only 5 signals. See, so one more time, I always, kind of through multiple videos I say this. That's why I'm not selling a trick, right? I'm not trying to get you to open 15 positions in 15 minutes, right? Or 5 minutes, right? With like AI or with, smaller. What I'm trying to get across to everybody here is that depending on your schedule, depending on your finances, depending on your psychological fortitude towards stress, depending on so many factors, there's different ways to trade, all into profit, right? So you need to understand the general rules that govern this, but building a plan to fit you specifically is something that's done maybe with, within your mind, with all of the resources that I'm providing, with all of the information. Or you could actually do it with me going back to our Telegram channel kind of announcement. We're going to be evolving it very soon. You're going to be able to get your questions answered very quickly by me specifically, not some sort of, I don't know, support network or whatever. So touch base if you want to discuss something that would fit you specifically, something based on your preferences, based on your comfort zone. We can build and you're based on your goals. Somebody thinks that $500 a month is woohoo, excellent profit making. But somebody says, hey man, $500 a day is not enough for me, Bubba. Right? So this is where we need to be a little bit more understanding that it's not a pattern that you need to keep repeating to fit everything. So for somebody, 5 signals per 2 hour period is freaking great because they're not going to be opening for $1, a 2, a 3, 10. They're going to open immediately for $100 because their finances allow for this. And with proper money management, they understand that, hey, if out of 5 positions I get 4 in the money, kind of like what we just, kind of understood, I would have opened here. Hell yeah, would have made money. I might have opened right here. I don't know. I think I would have, but, because it's not really ideal. This is freaking great. Look, bars that are going down, up, green. There's a crossing, there's a zero line that at that time everything is moving downward. It's beautiful. There's an early signal on this candle from fractal. There's parabolic that switched to the, to the bottom. Hell yeah, I would have opened here. But here I would have been maybe indecisive. But you know what? The hell with it. I would have opened, and what if this one would have been a loss? Whatever. Kind of looking at the or here, right? You know what? Look, there's a big uprising. There's kind of like a hey, there's a good movement. There's a sell right here from parabolic. And I'm watching this, and I don't know. I opened the sell position here, right? Till the end of the candle, I would have lost money. It's okay. I would have waited, and hey, look, there's a good signal right here. I would have doubled my position. So here, let's assume that let's assume that here I lost $100. Here I open the position for 200. Yeah, I'm in the money again. I'm back in the green. And I don't know. This one is not really something that I would have waited. I would have waited for this to go up. There we go. And then to start it to go down. There's a crossing. There's a sell. There's parabolic. Multiple confirmations. Hell yeah, I would open again for $100. So out of 5, 6 positions, if I'm 4 or 5 in the money, I'm good. And I don't have to do it by small amounts, right? If my balance is a couple of $1,000, maybe $100, and 2 hours worth of playing PlayStation and keeping an eye out on, on the graph, and then, pausing and taking advantage of this, right? And if it's okay, if it's not, it's okay. I'll wait another, 20, 30 minutes of playing, I don't know, Uncharted and if Need for Speed, I don't know, then take advantage of it. Or, maybe I don't have time for all of this to sit around play PlayStation. Maybe I have 3 kids. Maybe maybe I have a newborn. Maybe I have a wife. I love my wife. But if that's the case, maybe I have only 15, 30 minutes to do all of this, then yeah, I need to find a particular trend, to find an asset where it's more likely that this trend is reversing, and then open 15 positions within 15 minutes. And out of each one of those, I will have I don't know, 1 out of 3, or, 2 out of 4, or 3 out of 5 win rate with proper money management, I got my 5%. I got it. That's it. 15, 20, 30 minutes, it really, once again, depends upon many factors. So today we're going to be kind of looking at, maybe some, not just euro dollar OTC, because it looks like it could be going into that direction right now, right? We got the bars that are getting smaller. We got the greens that are coming out. We got the MACD line that's rounding out. This was a decent movement, and I think that in a little bit we should get, right? We actually, let's see, if we take a look at support and resistance levels for the near past, there we go. We got a confirmed level of support right here. Let's make it a little thicker. There we go. And we got a possible level of resistance. Let's make it a little thicker. There we go. But we do need to wait a little bit more. So there is a potential that in approximately 5-10 minutes, there is going to be an upward movement a little bit further, and we could actually, kind of started right now. There's no second point contact yet, so this is a little bit, still free to be moved up or down, but, there could be a bit of a retracement boom, kind of come back again, touch the third time, and go for a squeeze. And at a certain point, there has to be a pop. At the moment, at this moment, the way it's shaping up is that there will be a kind of like a bullish dominance. There's a bullish favoritism. And I would actually say that in the next 2 or 3 minutes, this is something that could play, realize or play out. We got an early buy signal on this candle right here from Fractal, all right? And OsMA is, kind of saying that, hey, there's bullish dominance. If it crosses the zero line, or at least approaches the zero line, that could be our moment of entry. And because I'm if everything turns, there we go, we got a confirmation again. So in another minute, depending on, once again, this is OTC, this is pocket option clients are looking at the same chart, and they're going to be reacting to what they see. But if they continue to buy, look, everything is shaping up to be a breakout from here, right on the third spot, actually. It's not this level is not confirmed level of resistance because it's been touched only twice. 1, 2. If it breaks on the third, it's not as ideal, but it's still good enough. Look, we got the signal line and the MACD line crossing on the next one. If this one keeps going up for another 10 seconds or so, and you know what, I'm actually kind of confident enough where I think that I want to go till the end of the candle. No, not with 20, not with 20, 50. Let's do it with, there we go. Let's do it with 20, then 40. But I am confident enough. There we go. We got another one. We got a cross. You know what? I'm going to go already. It's kind of entering a little bit early. Not really a smart idea, because it can go a little bit higher. But then if we start, if the client's pocket option starts selling, it means that it's going to confirm this level of resistance, and it's going to go against me. So it looks like it looks like I might lose this position, but it's okay. All right. So look, we almost had a crossing. So let's just see what happens. And it's important to just be aware. That's why losing 50, it's, would have been a little bit worse than losing a 20. And it's not a big deal. I'm still going to wait, and I might, next 17 seconds, I might enter for a buy position anyways, because we're kind of having this particular situation kind of happening here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. All right, I'll buy right here already. All right, a little bit too, a little bit soon. But as I mentioned, we kind of have the potential for this to keep going upwards, though we just got a sell signal from Fractal. All right, so there we go. Now, next position I would have to go is 120 because I lost 20. If I lose 40, if it doesn't reverse right now, there we go. It does look like we have a red bar. All right. Actually, see, we kind of have the same thing here. See, there was a cross for a sell, and there we go. It started to, there we go, and then look like right here, it should be going for higher for an upward movement, but it chose to go again downward, and again it's playing with this. So I would say that actually that this reverse or resistance level could be adjusted a little bit and say, is determining that it should be going up, or it should be going downward still. So we're going to just readjust and wait for the next, for the chart to tell us something else. So I'm still looking for my second point of contact for this support level. I don't know if I want to do it now, but, because it's still below here, it could go down further. So I'm going to wait a little bit. See, we took a little bit early position, thinking that right here, this is where it's going to cross. We still have OsMA going smaller and smaller green. Right? So it's crossing. All right, so end of this candle in another 30 seconds, we should be able to, actually, there we go, yeah. In 20 seconds, we should be able to get a little bit more. I'm waiting for not just OsMA to cross the zero line, but, and as I mentioned, at the next, 10 seconds from now, we should get that, confirmation. All right, so it looks like, this would be a really good second point contact. See, we still don't have crossing. It needs to go a little bit higher. Come on, pocket option clients. Buy. Because, yeah, so far we got super trends going sideways, right? So it's kind of not showing preference to a downward movement anymore. We got the OsMA. Wait a second, did I choose the next minute? No, I didn't. There we go. We choose the next minute. OsMA, there we go. In 30 seconds, as I mentioned, if this goes up a little bit higher, oh man, this indecision by these guys, we could have a really good buy signal. See, it's not situational like this, right? We're not talking about small bars. We're talking about big that are getting, that are coming towards the zero line. We got greens with a little bit of indecision and a little bit of indecisiveness. And we could say, kind of theoretically, that we got maybe a little bit of false breakout. 1, 2, 3 point contact, and we're waiting for the pinch to happen, right? But it could, theoretically, this line be not anything worthwhile. And, there we go. All right, so what do you guys say? Should we buy now? All right, let's go for the next minute, and let's buy now. Once again, too soon. I'm kind of going based on the OsMA and the fact that it seems like it's crossing right now, but it has to go up a little bit more to get a little bit extra confirmations from, and man, you know what? I'm actually kind of optimistic about this upward movement. So I don't know if I want to go bigger though, right? Because that means that I would have to go in like $500 range, because we lost already 20 or 40, and so that's going to be 180 when you multiply that by 2, 400, really $360, $400. So, but I do believe though that it should go up even further now that we have confirming signals. See, all right, so we got a cross, we got fractal, we got parabolic. The probability that the next position will be higher is pretty good. It's pretty good, right? So we got 1, 2, 3 point contact. We got a breakout strategy. All right, we got multiple confirmations that it should be going up. Is it going to go up for sure? No, there's no such thing as 100% success, but it does look like this resistance level has been breached and it's no longer valid, so we're going to kind of set it off to the side. And now we got a upward trend with a 2 point contact with this support level right here. So I'm actually going to keep buying, even if this closes below for $20. I think I'm still going to buy for 40. But if not, I'm going to open another one for 10. A little bit smaller amount because, again, the probability. See, we got 4 relatively decent green candles in a row. If we look statistically, historically back, we see that after 4, there's a lesser probability that it's going to go up without a small retracement. So if that's the case, I'm still going to be opening now, but for a $20 and a following minute. I'm still going to open another position for a buy. I might actually do it in the same expiration, which is not something that I usually advise. It's a horrible idea. So let's just not do things like this very often. Again, a pullback like this is kind of natural, it's expected, but I do believe that it's going to be going up. Right now I'm actually, risking 30 bucks. No, I did do the right thing. All right, so I did open for a 20 for a buy, but on the following minute. All right, there we go. So I lost $10. We'll look in the history, right? So I went 20, 40. I won on, I lost $60 here, but with a 92% return on investment, I made money $110. So minus 60 bucks, 50 bucks in profit here. We've made a nice $18 profit here. So we've got $68 so far. I'm losing 10, and I might lose this 20. In that case, I need, all right, so 10 and 20 is 30. The next position is actually not 40, but 60. In the next 19 seconds or so, we're going to see if we need to buy with a bigger amount. So proper martingale use is something that's super important. Once again, we go based on the probabilities, right? So what is the probability that it's going to go up? I think it's actually pretty good, but I would, not really want to. Oh, I didn't go for the next minute. But I probably wouldn't want to risk a big amount. That's why, I'm going to go for a smaller. So probability, look, we got kind of like this, kind of lukewarm, really, performance. We got kind of like a sideways movement here. The only other thing that I got is this 1, 2, and a possible third point contact, which once again does have a good probability to continue to go up a little bit more before it reverses, right? So this particular movement is not very big. We'll see. If I lose this 10 bucks, I'm actually not going to open another one for a buy. I'm going to wait for another signal, maybe a little bit better confirmation. Again, today, for anybody who's joining, please understand this is not as difficult as it might seem, but it also just means that you need to, have a little bit of experience in this. Driving. Driving is a great example. I don't know why today I keep coming back to cars. I'm a car guy. I love cars. I'm going to take my 4x4 this weekend to the mountains with my family. It's actually a big freaking bus. But it's an honest to God 4x4, and we're going to have a great time. But anyways, when you're just starting out, right, to drive, to get your learnings permit, and you get behind the wheel of a car with your dad next to you, or maybe your mom, right, or just instructor, you're still scared, right? You really have to, like, focus. But now, you could eat a burger, talk to your kids, and, with your phone, hopefully hands-free, drive yourself to work, and it's not something that's, you have to even think about. So this is also something that it might sound a little bit, or might seem a little bit scary in the beginning, but if you follow the certain, logical, right, certain, not stupid, I mean, I don't really know how else to express this, approach, there's really no reason why you cannot be making money from anywhere in the world. That's the key, kind of, so that's the cherry on top of this freaking ice cream. That you can do this across, the whole globe. You can, visit any place on Earth and keep a little money in your pocket. I would advise for people not to put everything into one basket. And actually, wait a second, I just saw this, right? We kind of thought that this was a good setting for a resistance level. 1, 2, 3, it broke through. You're like, hey, all right, whatever. But look at this. Look at this. This is actually better. This is a better resistance level. So right now, no. I'm taking my words back. I am going to open positions right now, but this is going to be based on these support and resistance levels. We got 1, 2, 3. We got a breakout. We got the lowering of these. We got crossings. You know what? I'm going to open this. Next minute, right? I'm going to open a sell position. All right, let me open a sell position. It's a bit premature, by the way, because when we have a bounce back, yeah, chances are it's going to continue to bounce back, and we have this lowering, but this minute, well, there we go, right? So, wait a second. We're going to go to a higher amount. Yeah, we're going to go to the next minute, but we're going to wait a little bit more. I do believe that we got like a really good situation happening here for a possibility for it to go down lower. The reason why I said that I'm not going to open further positions with euro dollar OTC really was sort of revolving around. Look at this, right? If we kind of select this, select this particular period, it's kind of going sideways. It's not really going anywhere. So we got mixed signals. Fractal says down, parabolic says up. We got a breakout strategy possibly in effect, and you know what? All right, I'll open for a 20. Not a big deal. So that's going to be, you know what, I'm going to go for 60 with 92%, return on investment. I'm going to get $96 back, and which means 10 and 20, so $30 worth of loss is still going to be, quite covered. So we got a breakout strategy possibly in effect over here. We got parabolic saying up, but no additional kind of signals. So the market's kind of going sideways. So that's why I was saying that I like these moments when there's big kind of movement upwards, and then there's a down, right? So, a big trend going for somewhere. This downward movement and this upward kind of retracement doesn't really say anything about up or down. All right, again, we got this potential to go down, so I don't know if I'm going to go for 50. So there we go. It looks like there was another bounce back, right? So at the end of this game, all right, let's go. Let's go. All right, parabolic went up. It looks like we're about to, there is a starting of this cross. Still not Still not sure what pocket option clients are doing. There's no favoritism here, all right? But it looks like it could be going downward based on, once again, parabolic based on the bounce back, which makes this particular level especially sexy because let's make it, there we go, nice and visible. Because now we got 1, 2, 3, 4-point contact, beautiful 4-point contact, and we also have this very nice support level, also very sexy, that we need to be aware of. There we go. So we do have a pinching factor in effect, right? And let's remove this because it's no longer valid. Ah, son of a baboon. I opened it for a following minute. See, this is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate because this is stupid, not signal part, but technical stupidity. All right, so the signal was good. The signal is good. The fact that I opened the position for the following minute, that's what's dumb. And it could have bit me in the ass. Here we could have made money. This is the only kind of I find a little bit difficult thing to accept when you're trading with binaries with short intervals. You see, if I traded with like a 5, 10, 15-minute chart, the small few pips, it doesn't matter if you lose, right? If you enter a little bit later, it doesn't matter because over the course of 15, 20 minutes, there should be a bigger move, right? So few pips doesn't matter. But when it's short time interval, like 1 minute, it really needs to be more precise in your vigilance about what is the next expiration period so that you enter exactly for the signal that is presented, not for something bigger. So, but fortunately enough, I did, the scandal was big enough for 2 minutes. So what do we got for our history for today? All right, we lost $60 here, we won 110, right? So $50 in profit here, 68 in profit here. Here we got 68 plus 8, right? So 76. Let's just round this out to, yeah, there we go. So 76, 85 plus 16, right? So $96. You and I just made $96 in, when the hell did I start trading? In about 50 minutes, but actually the first trade was, I was yakking a lot. First trade was 1633. So 1633, so we've made like $85 technically in like 25 minutes, right? So I don't care where you work, this is great, a great side income. And we're not coming to the end. As I mentioned, right now, this sucker is in the middle of this pinching, kind of pattern. right? We got a good support level, and we got a very good resistance level. So we just need to kind of maybe wait, but in this case we could wait for another like 20 minutes for it to bounce here, here. But at some point it has to break. If it pops on the top, right? Because technically, look, we got a new lower low, right? Well, actually here it's no longer the case. Wait a second. Actually, something that we do need to acknowledge, right? So technically here it's now presenting from this point a possible upward movement. So we'll see where the next few candles take us. But if it goes upwards from this level, it's still got 40 seconds to go above, and this level would be a valid level to consider, right? So we got 30 more seconds for it to kind of we got a possible upward movement. All right, so if it touches this and if it breaks, we actually might have another breakout strategy in effect. We got super trend pointing down, we got fractal pointing down, we got parabolic pointing down, but fractal is usually for just like the next candle. So we got parabolic, and we don't really have anything going on here. That's why I am kind of tempted to just open a bunch of currency pairs, OTC currency pairs, because actually, wait a second, I did a stupid thing. I said, oh my God, there's no stocks. Of course, there's no stocks. Majority of them American, and today being 4th of July, they're not going to be open. So there we go. Let's see what the heck is going on. So I would say that in about 15 minutes or so, there should be a pop. By the way, usually the size of the movement is the widest part of the pattern. All right, so if we got like head and shoulders pattern, right, it goes here, but then higher, and then another head, shoulder, and then it breaks on the low side. The size of the distance between the neckline and the top of the head is the possible, so kind of like in this case, this pattern right here, if it breaks on the top over the course of maybe 10, 15, 20, maybe even an hour, it could go up to this point. It's, highly likely. Will it go exactly? I don't know. I don't really know, but multiple times in my previous videos where I highlighted this specific thing, it came to pass. Right? So this is where we do need to be aware. Okay, all right, not really the low movement that I would have liked to see, but there is the approach to the zero line. There is a crossing of the signal line and MACD line. There is an approach to the resistance level, and I'm actually inclined to believe, that there's a higher probability that there will be a breakout, but we need to still just wait a little bit more for this to be a confirming factor. We got a pinching factor right here. So it could go, okay, all right, you know what? I'm buying. Oh, crap. I forgot about the expiration. All right, there we go, and I'm buying. I do believe that it could pull back a little bit. This could be a false breakout, but since we got a parabolic, since we got a crossing of OsMA, since we got a crossing of the signal and MACD line and the histogram, I do believe that it's going to have at least several candles going upwards. All right, and if that's the case, right, we got one, we got two, we kind of stretched the truth for this to be a third point contact, so this is still a valid level of resistance. Right, I will take the next expiration for the higher position as well. I do believe that it should be closing in the money, and I'm gonna I'm still gonna open a $10 position just because it's very fast that it went from this to this. This is kind of like the resistance level of where this could meet. So I would actually say that the next candle has a possibility of being green, but a little bit less. If this candle was bigger than the previous one but closed somewhere here, yeah, I would have believed that it's going to go higher still. But the fact that it moved throughout this period so big, and it reached this particular level right here, it met this resistance, right? It kind of and went back down, went back down. So I do believe that, yeah, it does have potential to go down. And what I will do is I will set this as a possible level of resistance. All right, so there we go. Now we have a possibility, as I mentioned, that it's still going to continue to go upwards. I'm actually inclined to go for a $20 position for the following minute to go higher. And yeah, let me, no. That was once again premature. Did I open? No, it's actually for the same expiration. Son of a baboon. Alright, let's go for the following minute. There we go. And I would kind of say that, yeah, I still believe that it should be going up. But maybe this particular resistance level is played out. And now we'll be looking at this particular movement. Actually, I'm beginning to think that it makes more sense for the green lines, the support and resistance, versus the purple anymore. See, purple is still valid, this one, for support. But the resistance level has been breached. But I do believe that it might, I don't know. It's hard to kind of quantify intuition a little bit. So I do believe that it's still going to go up, but right now it's in the middle of this channel. So I would actually say that it's got higher chance to go up. Oh, crap. From here. I'm about to lose all of the money that you and I just made. Because I should have opened the $60 position here. All right, what did we lose so far? Lost 10, 6, oh my God, we lost 10, okay, 10, 20, and 60. And another 60. Yowza. All right, 120, and essentially 150. All right, so let's go, I guess to 300. All right, let's go to 300. And I don't know, don't really usually like to do this. As I mentioned, this is not really technically, the greatest thing. Breakout, went back inside. This isn't really a false breakout, because false breakout usually one candle opens and the other one comes back in. So there's no particular signal here to justify. Wait a second. You know what? Let me instead of doing something stupid, let's calculate, because I think that maybe today we should end in maybe possible win instead of or possible even zero instead of digging a deeper hole. There's no signal. Right, there's a small crossing. There is kind of like a pointing down that it's going to be going downward from parabolic, from super trend. There is kind of a breakout, but this is a very strong point of interest. We had since 340, right? So for over an hour, there's been a support level. I wouldn't open a sell position here, just because even though there is a crossing of the zero line, the crossing of the zero line, crossing of the signal and MACD, and fractal and super trend and everything, I'm still not really comfortable with this, because it could bounce from this level upwards and still kind of be within certain supports or resistance levels. So let's see, we got as I kept mentioning here, we were in profit a couple of hundred, like $100, but let's see. So here 50, right, minus 60, yeah, 50, 68, 70, 68, 75, let's say. Let's round this up to 85. 85, so like 90, 100, and 100 minus. Yeah, we're in a slight red today. All right, so based on technical analysis, I mentioned we try to kind of go according to give preference to the zero, or essentially to OsMA. But as you can see, it didn't really do a lot of things here. So if we take a look at multiple currencies, this is where I do say don't really have revenge trading from a particular asset. All right, one moment. So let's kind of take a look at different. Maybe we got some like really good signals. See, we had like a, I don't know, mixed thing here, but we had OsMA going down towards the zero line. There's a crossing, buy signal right here. That would have been good. All right, now we have the opposite, right? We have the opposite happening here. We got an opposite happening here. We got a level of support that's actually quite decent, right? Look, there we go, and it looks like it could be crossing. So this is why we got red bars over here with MACD. We got a decline bars with OsMA. We do have a potential for a breakout strategy, kind of like this. Right, there we go. So let's take a look. Maybe Euro NZD will give us a little bit of reprieve. So I still would like maybe, nope, I would like maybe a $10 position to start with. Let's take a look at something. Wait a second. Maybe we got something happening here now. Let's take a look till the end of this candle. CAD JPY. Oh man, this has been going up forever. So I would be expecting this to go down, though everything else says down should have been a bit earlier, somewhere here. And it, there was a bit of retracement continuation, kind of like Euro CHF right now. So let's see at the end of this minute, or maybe we could put on our big boy pants and open a big position in comparison. All right, so let's see, not really ideal, but it is going to be crossing the zero line very soon. So next this minute or the next one, we could see a building of momentum here. All right, so I don't know if it's going to be on this minute. Let's kind of take a look again at different assets. Weird kind of situation here. I would expect it to go down, but it didn't. All right, there. I just missed it a couple of minutes ago. This would have been a good entry point, right? Here, retracement, continuation, very aggressive upward movement. We got buy signal across the board. All right, stating that it should be going up. AUD CAD, also there we go. We got a support level here, but it looks like it's breaking that parabolic sell signal. It did go down, a bit of retracement. I don't know, actually I would do this with the smaller amounts, and I would actually take advantage of a few situations here. So overall, there we go, we got also a support level here that's being broken. And there is confirming signals on this saying that it should be going downward. So let's cut it short for today. Let's go for our weekend. Yes, sometimes you end up on a small minus. I think that if we had another hour at our disposal, we could have come back out because there's lots of good signals that are happening right now. But unfortunately, I got to go pick up my kid from the kindergarten. So I will bid you all adieu and goodbye until Monday. Again, I want to encourage you to touch base in Telegram channel to make sure that all of your questions are answers, to get scheduled, to get updates. And if there's anything that that you watch this video after, leave a comment. Let's start a dialogue. There's never going to be any kind of bad feelings or negativity or obligations of any kind. This is about presenting you with knowledge. This is about connecting with people that are like-minded, about making money work for you instead of you for the money, explore different strategies, and ultimately come out on top. So once again, my dear friends, thank you so much, and I will see you Monday.